Hello! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bloodstained Wings, and today I thought we would paint a lovely winter scene. As you can see here, we're using a lot of soft pastels and having a quiet sunset over a nice soft hill and a cute little lake or maybe river. Not entirely sure because we don't see the rest of it. But if you guys are ready to paint along with me, I invite you to bring out your palette knives and paints and brushes and paint along with me. Alright, hello everyone. Let's get started on that beautiful winter painting that you guys saw me do in the, well, you guys saw, and then now I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, as per usual, we are going to be starting with some of the goop, and this time I'm going to mix it with some titanium white. You gotta really extra say that white, the H in the white. If you guys want to see my palette before I get started here, I will show you that I have a lovely array of colors here. So I have the titanium white, this is yellow ochre, this is alizarin crimson, this is quinacrium violet, this is tiniest little spidge, like just little of phthalo blue, just very gentle with the phthalo blue, it's very strong, and then some burnt umber, and then that's the goop. And if you want to see again, it is Neo Maglip by Gamblin. That's what I use. And if you guys are looking to get a palette knife and you're looking at what kind of palette knife to get, there are lots of different kind of palette knives out there. I prefer this kind. It is just straight up flat with one angle on the one side. This was my first palette knife, and I've bought others since, and this is just my preferred palette knife. If you just, I don't know if anybody wanted to do a lot of palette knife painting, so I figured I should show you guys the palette knife that I've been using. Alright, so I've got just the white on my brush here with the goop. I obviously need much more goop. So this essentially makes it liquid white. And you want to have a nice, even coat of the liquid white. And if you have actual Bob Ross liquid white, please feel free to use it. That's perfectly fine. You can absolutely use it. I prefer to use the Gamblin goop to the liquid white. I find that the liquid white is too liquidy. Same with the liquid clear. Like, it's just too... it's too liquidy, and I find that it's easier to maintain the thickness of the oils with the goop than it is with the liquid white or the liquid clear. And the goop is transparent, and so as a result you can use it with any color, which I like to do. So we're going to start with the yellow. I have an idea in my head of what I want to do, and you guys saw already how the painting's going to turn out, so hopefully that painting at the end is exactly what I'm envisioning in my mind. So I'm going to start with a little bit of yellow in here, and I'm just going to do little crisscross strokes through here, and this is yellow ochre, and just bringing it across. And that's going to be where our sun is going to be. Ish, sort of. There we go. And now I'm going to try to make like a soft peachy kind of color. I don't want to go full on with the alizarin crimson. I want to mix the alizarin crimson in with the yellow ochre, and then get a little bit of white in there as well, just to make sure that it is a peachy color and not just straight up a darker color. And I'm just mixing it on the brush. So I've got a nice peachy color here. And I'm just laying that in on the outside. I'm gonna pull this on this side. Because this is gonna be a lake. This is gonna be a hill, so it doesn't really matter. This part's gonna be completely invisible. But I'm gonna put it in anyways, as if it was, you and I know, right? You right there, you and me, we know what's going on underneath that. But you know, the end result painting might not. I just want to kind of bring this up a little bit and blend them together so they're nicely blended together. That looks really shitty, but this is step one. Don't you worry, it's gonna get better afterwards. You just gotta keep having faith in your design and in your concept, and eventually everything will pull through. Just keep having the faith. So now I'm gonna dip into the quinacridone violet. And I'm gonna make sure to touch the white again so that it's a nice, soft, lavenderish kind of color. It's more lilac-y. It is much more lilac-y, but that's okay. Let's start over here. Make sure the color is good. Yeah, that color is nice. We're gonna add some blue into that color anyways, but I just wanted to make sure it was good and it wasn't too much of a difference from the last color, but I think it'll work nicely. I'm trying to make a soft rainbow kind of sky in my sunset because it's June and, you know, Pride is in full force, in full swing. I don't know what force or swing would be the correct word there, but I definitely want to make sure that we have some rainbow representation on, you know, some of that alphabet army. I was told that that's a term that I can use, is alphabet army, and I was like, oh gosh, I love that. You are also part of the alphabet army. I like to think about it like a sandwich, and I don't know why I'm talking about this, but we're going there. This is happening. So yeah, so S for sandwich, and then like if it's like, you know, if you're bi, then it's bacon, and you know, if you're gay, then that's guacamole, and then there's like lettuce and trans tomatoes, right? Like it makes sense if you really want it to make sense, which clearly I do. So I make it make sense, and you can come up with your own, you know, vegetable sandwich topping that would be suitable for, you know, the letter that you are. I like bacon for bi. I think that's funny, and I like it, so that's my choice on that one. But you know, if you don't want to be tomato, if you're like, no, I don't want to be tomato, I want to be something else that starts with a T that goes on a sandwich, or you want to be the toast, you know, you're just like, no, I want to be that toast. You know, I respect that. I can get behind wanting to be the toast. You know, maybe you don't like lettuce, and so you'd rather be lasagna. I don't know. Could be. Just putting possibilities out there. Feel free to leave a comment in regards to this, and we can have a talk about it. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of the phthalo blue, just like a tiny amount of it. I cannot encourage you enough to be very sparing with this. And I'm just gonna kiss the corners with it, because I just want it to be like, and then it transitions to blue. apparently all purple. I didn't add nearly enough blue, so I'm just gonna be very gentle, adding a smidge more blue. It's still very, like, I'm being too gentle, but I'm scared. I'm scared of adding too much blue because it's really hard to undo. So you want to be very gentle with it, which is why I am being very gentle with it. There we go. So there's still a lot of purple in my brush, so it's not very blue, but it is somewhat blue. And now I'm just kind of blending those together very gently. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and blend just a little bit on all of these parts. There we go. That's a little better. I didn't want it to be like a stark line between each color. I wanted to kind of transition-y through. We're going to be adding clouds and you know, stuff, so, you know, it's okay. So let's place our sun. I want the sun to be here. So I'm going to do that with my finger. Yes, we are finger painting. Did you know that we finger painted? Yeah. I'm going to lift off the excess. And then I'm going to use a small, fluffy, clean, dry brush. And yes, my finger has paint on it, and that's okay. And I'm just going to very gently blend it in so that it is part of the canvas. There you go. Nice little sky. So now I'm going to grab the white on that brush that I was just using. And I'm going to make some fluffy clouds because I want some fluffy clouds. So I'm going to start in the yellow and make my way upwards. Does that make sense? Not particularly, but I'm going to do it that way anyways. So yeah. Just going to make some fluffy clouds. And we're just doing tiny little circles, just like our many tutorials on skies. You guys should be well versed on how to make some fluffy clouds now. So tiny little circles, using whatever brush you want. And then you want to blend out the bottoms very gently. And then once you've blended out the bottoms, you just fluff up the top, real gentle like. And then just fluff up the top. Little wisps. And that's what's going to happen when you do that, is little wisps are going to happen. And that's what you want. You want little wisps to happen. So now we have a fun little cloud in the sky. And I'm going to do another one. I'm going to put one right there. You know what though? I think I want this one to be like a big one. I want this to be big. Let's get a big one. And let's just make it like really big. There we go. That's a big cloud. I'm going to blend out the bottom. Be very careful here where the two of them meet. You want to blend out the bottom of the one that you're doing, but you don't want to blend out the top of the one that you just did, which is why generally you want to work in the other direction than what I'm working right now. But because the top of my canvas is blue and the middle of my section is not blue, I didn't want to clean my brushes. And it will pick up that blue, so you want to make sure you don't go backwards. Alright, I'm just going to do a little cloud right here in front of that one, which pushes that one further back. And if you blend it out the bottom really, really well, then this one will really stand out on top of it. And softly lift and fluff. And I'm going to do another one over here. Another big one? Let's do another big one. I'm going to come in and do a second layer, just like this, where there's two, so that it looks like there's one really big one, but actually it's two little ones. So that's my plan. My plan is to be sneaky. I hope you guys are really enjoying painting along with me, if you are painting along with me, because I'm having a lot of fun painting rainbows and rainbow skies. There we go. Just want a little extra in that guy. There, see? And now it looks like a really big cloud over here. And we're just gonna fluff. And there it is. Oh, we gotta blend a little bit more. A little bit more blending. But you can already see there's a nice soft sky going on. I've got a hair. Get off. There we go. Oh, no, I placed it back. Dang it. Come on. There we go. Got it. That happens. It's okay. I also have a cat, so cat fur happens sometimes. Also okay. And I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a little bit of the white here on this brush, on my big brush, on my big brush. I still haven't cleaned it because I'm lazy. But on the big brush, I'm gonna go in from here and I'm gonna pull outwards just to give like a sun rays kind of feel. The same way we did with the tropical sunset one that we did. Oh geez. It's not dragging as much as it's just leaving a spot there. There we go. I think I'm going to cover that up with a tree or something because it is not working the way I want it to work. There we go. Just to force it if it doesn't work. Just really force it. There we go. I just wanted to lighten the transitions from one thing to another. Okay, now I'm going to add back in the sun and we're just going to make it bigger. And that should help to fix things. Actually, when we hang on, lift off the excess, and then using that same blending brush that we were using, I'm just going to pull it that way. There we go. We did it, sort of. It exists. It's subtle. It's very subtle, which is fine. I'm okay with subtle, and that's fine. So what I want to do is get a little crazy. And I hope you guys are here with me on the getting a little crazy. So we're going to have to add a little dark in order to add a little light. We don't want to get too dark, but I am going to make a purple. So I'm going to take all of the quinacridone violet and that tiny bit of blue that I had, and I'm going to mix them together to make a slightly bluey purple. And using my big brush, because this is going to make this a lot easier and a lot faster, I'm just going to come in and lay a hill. Okay, this brush is not doing what I want it to do. Let's try that again. It's really not. Let's switch to a palette knife to get this hill in where we want this hill to be, because I want there to be a hill. There we go. And then I can pull it out with the brush afterwards. There we go, that's better. Look at you now, existing hill. Just wanted to come down to about there. Okay, now we can pull that out. I know this looks really bad, but just give it a sec. This is so one of Bob Ross's, you know, common things that he says, that you gotta have the dark in order to show the light. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta have the dark to show the light. So that's what we're trying to do here. So this is the dark, and then we're going to make this a lovely winter scene. And if we don't like it, we can just paint over it, and that's fine. That's fine. There we go. Okay, so we now have the darkness. That's good. While we're here, I'm gonna mix a little bit of that purple that I have left, which is not very much at all, actually. I have very little of it left, with the burnt umber. I just mixed all that I had left with the burnt umber. So we have kind of a brownish purple. And I'm gonna do some trees. We're gonna do some trees. So here we go. So I mixed it with a little bit of the goop that I had left as well, so that it would flow nicely on my brush. And just gonna go ahead and pop in some trees. Add some wiggly branches. Wiggly branches. Because wiggly branches are your friend. Well, I don't know if they're your friend. They're my friend, though. And your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. I don't know why that song came in my head, but I'm sorry. Keeping in mind when you do your tree branches, to make them wiggly and cross over each other and do all kinds of crazy wonky things. The more crazy and wonky it is, the more believable it is that it's a tree. Because trees are wonky and they're not perfect, you know? They just do whatever they want. And they all have a story that led them to be the way that they are. And if you listen really carefully, you might be able to hear it. I may have been reading too many Lord of the Rings books lately. That's a valid point. I hear what you're saying, and yeah, solid point. I'm going to go ahead and go into my fan brush, and I'm just going to do a quick little pine tree situation. Oh, I ran out of paint. Ran out of paint. Make sure it gets bigger as it gets down. And there you have it. Big old pine tree. He's gotta have a friend. I don't want to cover up this cloud though because I really like it. So let's give him like a little friend. It's right there. He's got a little hobbit friend, you know? And then maybe one right here. That just kind of grows over the sun a little bit there. Maybe it's a little wonky. It's got a story, that's for sure. Just fill that in. Nobody knows. Nobody needs to know that he's got a wonky story. There we go. See, it's fine. And I think we'll do one more big one right over here. There we go. And I'm having fun, and I'm sorry. Fun's happening! Look out, she's getting carried away. This happens all the time. Don't be afraid to get carried away. That's what I have to say. Let's go ahead and put some more trees in that are the sticky kind of trees and less of the ferny kind of trees. You know what I mean? Deciduous as opposed to coniferous. Why, yes, BSW. It's like you knew that those were words that existed. And in fact, you have all kinds of knowledge in regards to trees and life and stuff. It's true. Also, yes, sometimes I call myself BSW. It happens. Do you guys find that in real life you refer to yourself as your online name? Is that just me? Is that just me that does that? Oh, that's a real crickety kind of branch there. Whoa! He's got a story, you know? I wonder what their story is. Maybe, just maybe, they'll tell us if we're really nice. There we go. And let's add some more twiggy sticky things. These trees don't just grow like straight, they grow all kinds of ways. Much like people. Much like people, they're not all straight. They grow in all kinds of ways. And have good stories to tell you if you but are willing to listen. And I feel that a lot in my life. So, you know, let's give this guy a story, you know? Maybe this guy's name is Charlie. And Charlie grew up on the edge of this hill. And, you know, he's got his family nearby. And, you know, maybe they always wanted to have children. They always dreamed one day of having children. And who knows, maybe one day Charlie will be able to have children. It'll be a glorious day for Charlie. Right now, Charlie doesn't have any children. He's a little sad about it, but he's hopeful, you know? I'm sure some people out there can relate to Charlie. Maybe somebody in my chat is named Charlie and has the same hopes as this Charlie. Maybe that Charlie, not this one, but the one in chat, maybe the Charlie is female, and that's cool too. I don't know. I don't make up the rules. But I was making up that story about that Charlie, so, I mean, really. Don't make up rules, but I did make up a story, so there's that. It's helpful sometimes to make up a story. You know what else I think we need? I think we need some bushes that'll go here to like define this a little bit more as like a thing, maybe? I don't know, maybe down here. Let's do that. Let's add some bushes down there. So I'm gonna grab this purpley color and I'm just gonna add some bushes to this part. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm just gonna pull it down a little bit to give that reflection. Perfect. We like that. I like that. I don't know if you guys like that, but I like that. So really, that's the important part. Because this is my painting. Okay, back to the palette knife. We're going to do the same old trick we do, where we get a small roll of paint on the end of our knife here. And I might, you know what? I might not like what I'm doing here, but we're going to do it anyways. I'm going to pull a little bit of paint down to make it like snow. And you want to pick up some of the shade color that's underneath here on these trees, because it's going to make a shadow. And you want to keep in mind the angle of your hill here. This is all going down to that nice little pond. Guess what? I need more white paint. Alright, more white paint. So I'm just kind of filling in this area here, but not overly filling it in. We want to still have some of these like areas where it's breaking to still exist. I am going to take my thin brush, and remember when I said I wanted that shadow color? I still want that shadow color. So I'm going to come in with this and just kind of see if I can pull it out a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit. And that makes it look more like there are tree shadows. And this is just allowing me to shape this hill a little bit so that it's more hill shaped. There we go. And it's okay to have these darker areas, that's okay too. Because the light is going to be hitting this in weird, different, exciting ways, and you want to let the light play the way that it wants to play here. Because everybody likes to play. So why can't the light? I mean, if anybody's going to, it should be the light, right? Alright. Now in general, I don't like the way that looks on the edge there. So what I'm going to do to clean that up is go back into my bush color and my bush brush, and I'm going to put some bushes in here. See? And just pop them right in, right over top. Those are some good bushes. I'm liking these bushes. Let's add one right here. See? Just a nice little bush. Right there, just like that. And because remember they have to have shadows too, you gotta come in with the other brush and just kind of make sure they have a shadow. There we go. That's on the tape, so I don't need to fuss. I'm gonna probably try, but I don't need to. What I do need is more goop, because what I'm gonna do is try to clean up the line around where the foot of our hill is meeting this nice little lake, which is already starting to exist. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's starting to exist. So I mixed the goop in with the white, and I'm just cutting across, and then that's going to allow me to have a nice roll of paint. Well, not really a roll of paint, but a nice little bit at the end of my knife here to be able to scoop in and really push, really push and bend that knife to make this line happen. And that's going to be the edge of our water. But water doesn't generally like curving like this, so we're gonna try, there we go, to kind of smoosh it about a little bit. There we go, that looks better. And now I can go back in with some more white that doesn't have the goop in it and just clean up some of these edges on top. Just to have a little bit of the snow kind of like hitting the water kind of thing, you know? And there's like that edge. Well, that's the wrong pile of white. Make sure you grab the right pile of white. Actually, this part looks good. I'm not going to touch that part. I am going to touch this part a little bit, but the other part I'm going to leave. There we go. Right up that hill. There. And since we have a little bit left over, just add some little wisps in the water where things are kind of just happening. The canvas will take what it wants. And there, we have a nice little, you know what? I think I'm just going to block in this whole thing. I'm just going to add some bushes all the way along. There we go. But because those ones are in the light of the sun, because you can see the sun is peeking through on that one side, I'm going to grab a little bit of the liquid clear and, well, the goop mixed with the white, and I'm going to go into that peachy color that I made earlier for the sky, and I'm just going to kiss the tops of these bushes with a little bit of light. So it looks like they're just barely being touched by the light there. Where the other bushes, oh, these bushes are too, I guess. There. Just a whisper and a hint of it. And because I messed up the bottom of this guy, I'm just going to clean that back up again. There we go. And there we have a beautiful winter scene with some beautiful rainbow sunset kind of sky. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I know I did. So there's that. I can show you guys my palette at the end because I know some people like to see what's going on. Well, that's what's going on. Lots of the alizarin crimson left, so I did not need that much alizarin crimson, but ta-da! So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the viewership, and I hope you guys are really excited because next week I have something a little bit different for you. I'm gonna be, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. I have talked about it on my stream a little tiny bit, and if you want to join my stream, please check the link tree below. It is twitch.tv/bloodstainedwings. And the names scrolling by are my Patreon supporters, and if you would like to join my Patreon, again, it's in the link tree in the description below. So thank you guys so much. Remember that you are loved and you deserve to be loved, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!